Okay, in this video, we're going to start introducing programming for the CNC lathe. If you have not watched the reference video on basic lathe operations, take a few minutes to do that before we get into Mastercam. This will help you make sure that you understand the types of operations that we are going to be programming. We're going to find programming for the lathe is similar yet different than programming for our CNC mill. When we draw our parts for the CNC lathe, it's nice because we can only draw half the part. We can draw the top half and mirror it about what is normally our y-axis. When we draw our parts, for now, we will always be placing what we call the face of the part, the right-hand side, on what is normally x0. Normally our x-axis runs right to left, and our y-axis runs up and down as we've been programming for the mill. However, in the lathe, it is a two-axis machine. The tool will only move in two directions unless we were to add another axis to it, like a milling head. However, our particular lathe at the school that we're going to program for is two axes. The axes labels do change a little from our typical mill. So normally when we're programming for the mill, we were programming with our x-axis running right to left. Now our x-axis and our x values in our G code are going to represent the diameter of the part. So as our diameter starts at 0 and grows, our x values will grow. CNC lathe programming can function in two ways. One, x could be actual tool movement. So if I had an x movement of, let's say, 10 thousandths of an inch, the tool itself would move 10 thousandths of an inch. But because it is cutting along the part, it's actually going to remove double that and remove 20 thousandths of material. The other way that we can program CNC machining or CNC lathes, and this is how we program our lathe, is by having our x values always represent diameter. So if I put a value of x1 in a program, it will represent a diameter of x equals 1. The other axis on our CNC lathe is the z-axis, and the z-axis runs right to left. We usually consider the face of our part to be z0. As we move out to the right, away from the chuck or work holding implement, z grows in a positive direction. As we move from the face of the part to the left, cutting towards the chuck or work holding implement, our values go to z negative. So we are increasing in z negative space. In our next video, we are going to look at how to set up Mastercam with stock in order to program for the CNC lathe.